35 years old. It's my 25th year. And I've worked for every label. So, like how Troy said, he worked for every label. I actually, worked at a lot of places he worked at and more. But so my transition was different. And then worked for a couple of labels, did marketing, promotion, built a lot of shit up, broke a lot of records on the marketing and promo and radio side. And then left to be the head of MySpace when MySpace launched, and then SoundCloud, and then was doing day-to-day management for a few songwriters and an artist named Future at the time. He was coming out with a project named Pluto, and I was the day-to-day manager, and then made the transition to become an A&R, and then went and took an A&R position at Rostrum, and then it led to me at Roc Nation. So I started my career over, I'll say this is my fourth time. Because it's nothing. Whatever you could do and you can learn, you learn it, right, and you apply it. So I'm a person that started my career over several times, but building my way back up and on the A&R side. But I worked every position, I feel like, as a label. But it's good to be here with y'all today, and respect to everybody here.
What about yourself, Shawn?
Yeah. Going back to when I was in college, I interned at Universal Records my last semester in the A&R department. And this guy who I was interning for, he taught me how to search for artists on MySpace. MySpace was popular at that time. So I did that for 6 months. Then I graduated from college. Once I graduated, I went to work at this place called Koch. It was the largest independent record label. I worked in the mailroom, and that's actually when I met Jay Hatch. I had an artist, and Jay Hatch was doing this thing called Faces in the Crowd, and my artist performed. He won first place. I don't know where that artist is no more. But yeah, I was working in the mailroom, and I knew I wanted to do A&R. Through delivering the mail, I got cool with the CEO of Koch, who was Alan Grunblatt at the time. He was like, if you got something you like, bring it up there. So the first artist who I ever found was Drake, and I brought him up to Koch. And they unfortunately passed on him at the time. They said he was corny. Yeah, he was still on the
Awkward.
Yeah. So that was really my start, but really Drake was a big part of my first half, so I was just telling everybody about Drake. I told this dude named Mike Karen about Drake, and that's how me and him got cool, and then Mike Karen eventually signed another artist of mine and gave me a job, and that's how I got started.
It's crazy because I remember, and just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, Drake did his mixtape, Heartbreak Drake, with Ill Will and my brother, DJ Rampage, in my living room. And it was crazy because my brother was Omarion's DJ, and we grew up as immature and Omarion's DJs and that whole B2K thing. And he wanted a feature from Omarion really bad. And Omarion, well, I don't know if I should say this because of the camera, but at the time, he was just well, let's do a mixtape. And so this is before, I don't know if y'all know who Ill Will is, but Ill Will ended up later on becoming a DJ who signed Kid Ink and Blue Kid Ink up. So they used to do mixtapes in my living room, and Drake came over and did a mixtape called Heartbreak Drake. And Best I Ever Had was on that mixtape. And then I actually premiered the song on MySpace.
That's history right there. That's crazy. So for those maybe who don't know the terminology, the language of the music industry, an A&R, basically break down your day-to-day job duties, your responsibilities. Just let them kind of know what an A&R does on a daily day.
I mean, it's really all different. Well, first of all, A&R stands for Artist and Repertoire. It's all different. Some days I'm in the office. Well, most days I go to the office, but I'm not gonna even lie. I don't go to the office no more since the pandemic. But I'm still doing them office type things at home, or I'll go just somewhere where I'm comfortable and put on my headphones and listen to music and shit like that. But doing that type of stuff, going through emails, running through beats, running through song submissions. Later on in the day, I'm at the studio every day. So at some part of the day, I'm going to the studio with one of my artists, helping them put together songs, running through beats, bringing other people into sessions, and that could range from video people to PR people, marketing people, whatever. I travel a lot, going to see artists in their hometowns, people who I like, trying to get a gauge on what they doing in their cities. But yeah, it's all different. Every day is a different day, a new journey.
I mean, I feel like our day to day is the same at Roc. I feel like the good thing is that it's like we don't really take the solo A&R approach. We're like a team of A&Rs. We're really small. It's about 5 of us, and what we do is we kind of like we all go through a thing where like one day we're all listening to music and we're just only listening to music, and then the next day it's like we're just kind of like doing studio sessions. We'll do studio sessions for, like he said, like pretty much like a week straight, and then kind of go back the next week and then listen to what we made and listen to down, and then we'll go through and like fix certain songs and add certain songs, bring in different songwriters, take some verses and different things and change certain songs in and out, or different parts of a song in and out, just to make them stronger, to make sure that we got the best material. And then there'll be a week where we just be in there making all hooks for a new artist, or we'll be in there just trying to figure out how to program, basically like letting the DSP people know at our label like what we working on, like he said, the publicity people or like the radio team. The good thing about us is that the DSP team sits with the A&R department. So as we're making the records, they kind of know what's going on. So it's like a perfect handoff to Apple Music or Spotify or even early Engage. Even before we market a record, they already heard the record. So they already know that this is coming around this time to get ready to start pitching it. But we kind of do it as like a team at Roc. So it's kind of like we have a huge roster, and it's like, obviously at the time, like right now, Rihanna, obviously Lift Me Up, Black Panther was, just came out this weekend. I hope you guys get to see it. But like Lift Me Up is a big record right now that's out. But it's like a thing like between us and Def Jam when they bought was talking about the film and describing the film to us, we all had to kind of like stop what we was working on and focus on that record, because obviously we know what it's like for one to bring somebody like Rihanna out of retirement, but to have like, this has got to be a moment. The world got to stop when they hear this record. So like right now for all of us, that's our department focus. But it doesn't stop like the productivity for us even working on the artists from the top to the bottom.
Absolutely. What do you guys think is the number one misconception that artists or labels, independent labels, have about the A&R at the major label? What do you think is like the number one misconception, either good or bad?
I mean, that we don't do nothing. Yeah, most people think we just there as moral support, I guess, but it's so much stuff that we do, from paperwork to the stuff that y'all don't see it's heavy. We have to handle a lot. We almost like the manager of the artist at the label. That's what we do. We manage them from the other side of it.
I mean, I feel like, like he said, to piggyback off what Shawn is saying, like, we're the first line of defense. Like, for one, we're sent into your, like, how Shawn said, he'll go to an artist city, go into your home, meet your family, meet your crew. And, like, I'm convincing you to do a deal with Roc Nation, right? So, like, with me convincing you to do that, for one, you got to know that I'm going to be there for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to advocate for you in the building and make sure everybody is happy and understand who you are. So just as like your manager, it's crucial, because the manager and attorney you pick is really crucial, because they got to have a good relationship with everyone, right? Your manager. Your attorney has to sometimes have a good relationship with our attorney and kind of be known. It helps, because then if the manager isn't good, then we can lean on the attorney to kind of help, push it back in the right order. But like if your manager's a little bit unexperienced, then all that falls on the A&R. So that means you got a manager, he's your homeboy, y'all doing homeboy records, but like I still got to help with the paperwork. I still got to do the producer agreements. I got to still basically negotiate the rates. I got to deal with your attorney day in throughout so you can get a release, right? And sometimes artists would be like, man, I just came up with that shit on the fly. So you ain't even write out the lyrics. So guess what? Lyrics still got to be delivered. So if not a coordinator from my department, well, guess what? If I can't find a coordinator or an intern, I still at this level write the lyrics myself. Whatever I got to do to get the record delivered to the market, I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? So like, and push it to marketing and then go and convince the marketing person that you the best thing since fucking sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good because like that's what we sign up for. We on the first line. It's you deal with us first, we bring it in, and then obviously you then meet the whole rest of the team. But like we're first. So it's like if I'm gonna convince you and tell you like, hey, let's get in business together. I mean, let's really get in business together. It's a marriage. So like good and take good and bad, good times, bad times. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be there. And the label going to be there. And they going to understand what you're going through as an artist, what you're going through as a person, whether you're a black man, Latino, white person, whatever the case may be. You might be going through something and be like, man, I just need some time. Well, guess what? Money's being spent. So I have to then go back and explain. And we all understand because at the end of the day, at Roc, we people first. You might come into our office, you might see Jay, you might meet Emery, and they're going to ask you, how you doing today? It don't matter who you are. We all people first. So, yeah, the business comes after dating. The business comes after, you know, okay, I really rock with him. I met with other labels or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, if you don't rock with me as a person, don't fucking sign to me. I don't want you because at the end of the day, you got to wake up every day and deal with me. I got to call you. I got to have my ideas. You got to respect my input because at the end of the day, like I said, this is my 25th year. I've been knowing Shawn, too, since he came in. But No, for real. Because it's not about applause because I need you just as much as you need me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be my 35th year if shit go right. You know what I'm saying? So let's really get it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how we all generate money. It's a business. But at the end of the day, I got to know you good as a person. My artist can't make music if he's not good as a person. And I have to go back and explain that to a record company. But it's not hard to explain because I'm actually lucky enough to work at a minority-owned label, and so from the top down, they understand what you may be going through. Because even though the people I work for is who they are, it is what it is, but they still understand, like, once they was going through that, and they're going to be compassionate at that. So when you come into our office, we don't ask you, yo, man, that's a hot record. We ask you how you doing today first, because that's what matters. You matter.
So we all know the game has changed a lot the last 10 to 15, 20 years with the whole online side of things, digital marketing, digital, streaming platforms, et cetera. What are some of the tools that you guys are looking at today to really, I guess, define who might be a potential artist you would want to sign? Like I know, Shawn, you work with a lot of artists. You found, Ty. You recently signed Leon Thomas, who's one of Ty's artists, to Motown. Like, talk about some of those things. Like, what did you see? What did you find? What really got you wanting to bring somebody on board?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it for me is still gut. Like, of course, we all got to look at the numbers and the analytics and stuff like that. But if I genuinely don't like your music, I don't want to work with you. That's just what it is. I don't care what you're doing, honestly. But yeah, I mean, we are looking at the same stuff, honestly. So TikTok, of course, is popular now, and a lot of stuff is breaking there, but it's not really breaking there at the same time because they might get one little thing that goes, and then their next 3, 4, 5 songs, they can't catch another record. So, and that happens 90% of the time. But yeah, no, just really where I see my most success is either from like being in the studio with somebody who was a songwriter or like word of mouth from somebody who I trust. Those are like the two for me that's been working thus far.
What about you? Any artists that really stood out to you and why? Well, I'm talking to you, Earl.
It's crazy because I started in marketing first. I think I look at things a little bit different. I mean, I feel like what Shawn is saying is right. Like, obviously, like, I feel like I'm very much so a gut A&R. And Shawn even saw me when I was managing artists, too, on the side. I mean, I done begged him for meetings, even though I've been in buildings, and it's like, at the end of the day, my building might not want it, but like, or a company I worked for at the time might not want it, so I would be like, yo, let me go ring somebody else's bell that get where I'm trying to go with it. But like, I feel like, my approach is a little bit different because I think about like the marketability of an artist, And, you know, like, I feel like that's a huge part of it because at the end of the day, we can make great records, right? And there's a lot of artists that make great records because we're not in the era where, like, the internet is a trip because I feel like I'm a kind of a part of the solution and the problem, being that I was one of the heads of MySpace and helped MySpace launch. Pre-MySpace, a lot of these artists will be like, oh, I'll be a songwriter, right? And because they don't have like the marketability to be in front of the stage. Because you got to understand, like to a record company, like yeah, you might write great records, but you know what I'm saying, like we want J-Lo to sing them or something like that, right? So then it becomes an era where MySpace comes and it's a discovery platform. So like people are getting discovered who wouldn't have maybe got a chance pre these social media platforms. And you know, it's a trip because at the end of the day, because I'm from the old music industry era and I'm from the new wave of the industry and helped create that, it makes me, I'm still kind of give and take. Like I feel like, yeah, somebody might be dope super musically, but like they might not want to do certain shit. It's times where, you know, we might have, you know, I might have a personal conversation with an artist like, bro, you might have to do this and do this and do this and change certain things and like, you know what I'm saying? Like just to be more relatable to the world, because at the end of the day, when you sign a record deal, we're not thinking about, yeah, you might be in Alabama and your crew might be thinking about, yeah, we got to be the hardest brothers from Alabama. Shout out to Alabama. I seen you, brother. Y'all might be the hardest thing in Alabama, but we thinking of like, but how we, you know what I'm saying? I'm not coming to sign you because I want to make you the hottest thing in Alabama. I want to make you the hottest thing in the world. So it's a little bit of give and take. Let's give them the Alabama sauce, but like we have a marketing department, a stylist, and all the things. People gonna come in and help make it for the world. And so, you know, I think like I'm thinking about when I see something I want to sign, I'm also thinking about how I'm gonna market it. And I also got to think like, what is it gonna look like 5 years from now, or I can't do it. Like Shawn said, the music could be good, and I could be like, yeah, I can make it a little bit better. But if I really don't see a roadmap for your career for like 5 to 10 years, I probably won't sign up to do it. And it's not that I don't like you or whatever. It's just that you just making music for the moment, and the moment's gonna come and pass. Like we dropped the Rihanna record, but our last Rihanna record is still on the charts, and it was 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago. So if we can't be making music that's gonna live 2 or 3 years, because at Roc we only have 25 artists. Every other label have hundreds of artists. So we take our time, we try to craft things, and like, you know what I'm saying? It just gotta be what it is.
It's real tough. Real tough. When it comes to artists in general, though, in terms of like skill set, you know, things that they should kind of have embedded in their process, you know, obviously hard work, you know, work ethic, et cetera. But what are some of the other things that really stand out to y'all when you start talking to some of these artists?
You know, I feel like the most important thing is somebody who listens. Because like Earl said earlier, the game is changing, and you're gonna have to like do things that you don't want to do sometimes, and you're gonna have like that thought process that I'm gonna have to do this to get here, and then once I get here, I'm not gonna have to do that stuff. But until we get there, I'm gonna have to do some of these things that I don't want to do. Somebody who works hard that's always a given. Those two things to me are top. But then when we get into like the skill set of an artist, for me, I've always looked for somebody who can give their point of view and can directly tell people who they are as an artist through their music. Tones of voices is always amazing. We like going through a transition with music. So music is changing, and you know, lyrics sometimes get passed by the wayside, but still somebody who maybe is not the most lyrical, but still like when they say something, you get it.
Anything else you want to add to the list?
I was gonna say just be unique. You know what I'm saying? Like people be afraid to be them. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm one of those labels to where like we have different artists on our label, right? I feel like when I'm thinking about even my roster right now in my mind, like every one of them are really different. We didn't go and sign like the next Jay-Z, right? We didn't go and sign like the next Rihanna. And obviously we get pitched those all day, believe me. Because when you got one, everybody be like, hey, I got the next one for you. Well, why we want the next one? We got the real thing. You know what I'm saying? So as you're making music, we might not be, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not looking for the next Drake. Drake is good, right? Study Drake. I'm not saying don't be inspired by Drake, but don't come in here and sing me songs that's for Drake. Because I think if you was here for the producer panel, then Cool and Dre was saying, he gonna make you do hooks for Drake and pitch Drake those records. And that's good because you get some bread out of being a writer. But if you're not signing up to be a writer and you really want to be in front, originality is what's going to get you there and stand out. And like I said, and we spend time on artists. Like, we didn't go and sign another J. Cole. We didn't go and sign, like, we're not looking for replacements for our artists. They are artists. We've been in business with them. I mean, J. Cole's been at Roc. I mean, this is J. Cole's been at Roc since pretty much the conception of the label. Willow is charting the top of the charts at like, but we watched Willow grow up. Willow got signed when she was 9. She's in her 20s now. So it's like, our artists be there for a while. We develop them. They're people. You develop as a person every day first. And like, we're there for the ride. And like, I have an artist, Kalen, for real. People think like, oh, I just got this kid a couple of years ago. I've been with Kalen for 7 years. People didn't even understand. I used to sit in his dorm room when he was a football player, first going to college to be a football player. I watched him get a scholarship to go to San Diego State and sat in his dorm rooms and would sit under his closet while he would make music. And he was a football player, so you can actually understand what his closet would smell like. But I would sit there and listen and watch him make records. And at first, he was Rich the Kid, and he was this person and this person. And now he found his voice in his music, and he developed. And like, it was a trip because people don't understand how long sometimes we will sit and wait for somebody. I remember Shawn when you had Todd, people don't even understand it. Oh, Shawn just signed Todd. Shawn sat there for a minute, for like 2 years before it happened, and believed. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, people don't understand, like, it's not just A&R. Yeah, those are some occasions where shit might go viral, we might sign it, but like, the shit that we really in bed with and believe in and we're pushing and we're building, it's like, we're investing in each other.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, it's crazy. It's interesting because we talked a little earlier about Cool and that whole, conversation about like, writers working and bringing in music. I know you guys work with a lot of different writers and producers to help create, specific sounds for artists. How important are these creators out here when it comes to the equation of, making that record for somebody else or just generally, helping somebody get a sound?
Really, that was like my introduction into Atlantic Records. Like, I used to sit in the studio literally every day with different writers, different producers, just making songs for other artists. And that's how I met so many people and seen so many people come through those doors. Early Bruno Mars, or early Frank Ocean, or early Miguel. So many other people just used to come through those doors and write for other artists. So that's really like my introduction into the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people just kind of see the artist on this, big ass screen and just think like they just showed up like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much that goes behind the scenes. Do you want to add on to that? And I was going to say, because, working with the artists one-on-one and getting them in the studio and helping create that sound, how much of an involvement do you guys have in that now with your current positions?
I would say we have. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we go to the studio every day. Like, sometimes we even making records for artists and they're not in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might not be there, but we're just trying to help add ideas. We can't make a record for you, right? You still have to like the record, be open to the record. But we'll put hooks together, we'll put ideas together. So when the artists come in, they're prepared. And it's like, you got to understand, like, 2 brains is better than 1. 3 brains is better than 1, right? So who's not going to, it's like, you might make records by yourself. You be like, man, I made 40 records this week. And me and Shawn might listen to them and be like, man, 2 of these records is okay. But guess what? We have an idea. We can have this person do a hook on it or whatever the case may be. Because at the end of the day, we get cheat sheets. I don't know how many of y'all in school, whatever, but we like the cheat sheets. So we just trying to help get it ready for the market. And it's no offense to the artist. We're not here to shit on your creativity or none of that. That's not my job. That's not my role. It's not to downplay anything you're doing. It's to enhance what you're doing. So, like, we just trying to come in and tell you, like, you know what I'm saying? We got people, obviously, labels got Rolodex that we can get on the phone and help enhance what you're doing. And at the same time, if you're a hard worker, Shawn said work ethic, right? So that's what we're looking for, work ethic. It's best to probably take the session, whether you like the record or not, because in that session, you're going to pick up something from that songwriter that they learned. And you might pick up a new melody. You might pick up a new cadence. You might be like, damn, when I add my sauce to this, it's 10 times better. Because you never know what you might get out of the session. And at the end of the day, it's like being a basketball player. Like if I was recruiting you for the NBA, it's like you're going to get on the court, but then it's like, am I sitting there to let Kobe or Jordan dunk on you all day? No, I'm here so they can obviously make your skill level, and we're the trainers that's going to help you understand, like, you're not ready to go there yet, right? So let's get you prepared for that before we just put you on the court and let you get fucking dunked on all day.
Just to add on to, you never know what you're going to get from those sessions, it's this one story. So I went to a Nipsey concert, and at this concert, it was this girl named Joelle James there. And she was, I think Chris Brown had signed her, but she was just starting out as a writer. And this was one of her first sessions she did. Her and her manager came up to me. They was like, yo, I want to put Joelle in the studio. She's starting to write songs, whatever. So 2 days later, I get them in the studio, and I'm playing them beats. And at the time, Mustard is the hottest producer, so of course, Ty and Mustard got their thing, so I got a bunch of Mustard beats. So I'm in there, I'm playing her beats, and she picks one and she writes to it. And the song happened to be Booed Up. So you never know what you're gonna get from these sessions.
Right time, right place. Clap it up for these guys one time, man. Earl, Shawn Barron. I'm going to take like 3 questions. 3 questions, then we're going to announce the top finalists. My man right here in the middle. Stand up, just say your name, ask you a question.
I mean, too far? I go by the name of Jimmy 2 times from New York City, me and my team. And I mean, I just want to know, like, when are we oversaturating as artists? Like, how's the pace of an artist who's recording? We're making, like you said, 40 songs. How many are we releasing per week or per month? What's the pace like?
I think you want to record as much as possible because all those songs not going to be great. Say you hitting like 80% of them songs, you have a good catalog. And in terms of releasing songs, for you, I will release like every 4 to 6 weeks. And I will break it up. I will release a song first, and then I would drop a video, and then release another song, then another video, just to like build up your cadence, build up your algorithms on on the different DSPs, YouTube, Spotify, whatever. And you get in 2 looks, so you get a song look, and then you get a look with the video too. And shoot cheap videos. I'm not talking about expensive videos. I'm talking $500, $250. Like, you can find people out here who hungry, who will give you some quality for them prices.
And just market your records too. Like put a little bit behind your records on social media. I mean, even in your app, you can like spread your videos, but then at the same time, like everybody, the whole thing today, they were talking about building relationships. Build relationships with the Insta blogs. Like people at these Insta blogs, like build relationships with Say Cheese and all these people. Like don't be afraid to put your stuff on there, or like being like, I ain't got the money. Well, if you got a job and you spending money here and there, factor that. Get the cost from them ahead of time. And then that way, you know, you gotta save for that too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta invest. It'll come back tenfold. Like, but just to kind of piggyback off what he's saying, like you gotta remember, like 80 to 100,000 songs are delivered a day. So if it's 80,000 to 100,000 songs delivered a day, then like he said, the only thing that artists fuck up on is that they're just not consistent. If you're consistent and you're just comfortable with having a small audience and building it and growing it over time, build it, bro, because at the end of the day, it's something that you're building. You're not building it for me. You're building it for yourself. And it's your catalog. So as your catalog generates more money and you grow it, one day you're gonna own that, and that's what a label's coming to invest in. Yeah, they coming to invest in a single, but then when you have a single, but you're saying like, hey Earl, but my catalog is making $70,000 a month, that could change the money in the deal because I might acquire the single, but I might be like, okay, but let me also distribute the back catalog, and I could probably give you an advance against your back catalog. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's all business. The deal is what you want it to be. And like I said, one record, like Shawn told you, one record it's like a ladder. One record gonna set up the next record. The next record gonna set up the next record. And that's all. You build your stairway to heaven, bro.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Other question up here. My man.
My name Fame Coach. Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Fame Coach. I'm out of Oakland, California. I got a couple questions. So, what are some of the things an artist has to conform to when signing to a label?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
Okay, so, and what are some of the things an A&R looks for when it comes to marketing, when it comes to the artist? What are y'all looking for when it comes, you know what I mean?
That's really a loaded question. Really, you should come with like already knowing who you are. If we sign you, you already gotta like know who you are as an artist. So we just gonna build off of what you already got.
Yeah, and I would say the same thing. Like, yeah, like we don't, like I said, we just want originality. Like, we, be who you are. That's it. Like, and honestly, it's like, I know people be wanting to get signed, but like, just because I might not like it, that don't mean another A&R will. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? That's the artist I told them, like, straight out, like, I might not like the music, or I might not even, like the look or whatever you doing, but that don't necessarily mean somebody else won't.
And that's real, because there's been artists who I didn't like, and then you see them like a year later, and they out here moving. Like, you just got to keep going on your own path.
I mean, I had a lot of artists, personally, like, I had a lot of artists rap in front of me, sing in front of me, like, and next thing you know, they're some of the biggest artists in the world. I remember when Fendi bought Nicki Minaj and the Warner Brothers, and she was right in front of my desk. And at the end of the day, I was like, I don't know. I'm from Bad Boy. I was originally at Bad Boy, so like, it was just like, I was like, just like Lil' Kim to me, and it kind of offended me. But like, Nicki Minaj grew past Kim. Like I said, you got to be inspired by somebody. So yeah, at that time she sounded like Lil' Kim, but like in Foxy, but like she figured out her voice in it all, and we watched her become. And I remember James Cruz coming back and being like, yo, I got this record I want you to hear, because he was managing Nicki, and he played me Moment for Life, and I cried when he played the song. I cried because I was like, yo, she arrived, bro. That's crazy. And I passed on it. And like, you make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It's give and take. We're not perfect. You know what I'm saying? But like, I remember crying because Moment of Life it did something emotionally to me. And like, I was proud to see her get to that moment of finding her voice and become, and I knew at that moment, I fucked up.
But you can admit it, though. You were here to admit it. It's all good. Let me get one more question. Right back here. Stand up.
Yes, how you doing? My name is Solo Key. I reside in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. And as an A&R, is there an expiration date on your artist? Like, he too old.
I mean, Jay is still rapping, so what are we talking about? You heard God did, right?
But I'm not gonna lie, there is though. You can't come into the game at 40 years old. And you can't be starting to rap at 40 years old. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
If you was already in it and then you pop at 40, that's a different thing.
yeah,
But you can't start rapping today at 40 years old and they think you're gonna make it. It's not happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw these two guys on IG the other day. They're from the UK. They're doing like this UK drill shit. They're like 65, 70 years old. Their concerts be lit as fuck, bro. I gotta show you the clip later. It's crazy.
It's an anomaly.
Yeah. Nah, but I'm just.
Good luck to the A&R that signed in.
Right. That's gonna be a viral phenomenon.
I'm not gonna lie.
One more question, please. Right back here, young lady. I'm sorry, tank top, my man. Go ahead. Say that one more time, a little louder. What's your outlook on consistent artists? ideal
I don't really
outlook?
understand. I said, I don't really, but you mean like, how do we feel about him? Yeah, you gotta be consistent.
Or what do you consider consistent,
Oh,
maybe?
what do I consider? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel like you should be, putting some hours towards your craft every day, whether it's you recording, whether it's you doing content to post on IG, on TikTok, whether it's getting out and touching the people. Somehow, some way, you got to be doing something every day towards your craft to make it.
I just feel like honestly, you can have people on your team, right? But this is your dream. Like, if you're not, listen, if you're not willing to, die for your dream, then how your dream gonna live, right? So, every day you gotta think about it. You gotta be obsessed with it. And the ones that are obsessed with it, that's, like he said, that's gonna wake up every day, go to the studio, do this, do this, do this, do this. Like, I remember Nipsey used to go to the studio. He used to treat it like a job. He'd be like, this is my job. He's been in the studio 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 to 5. And then he would go and do shows, or he'd be like, after 5 is when I do features for other people and all that stuff. But he had a schedule. He treated it like I could be working here or I could be working somewhere else. So, like that's the same way you got to be. If you're an artist and you're not waking up, when we wake up to go to work, then how you know we working on you? Get up. It's a job, bro. This is your only job. You guys clock in, 9 o'clock in the morning, business hours. Business, what am I doing? I'm in the studio. I'm working on this. I'm working on this. After, at night, $200. My man is in front of me. I got the Benz behind me, and I'm shooting a video, right? Because you don't want to do all this hard work, catch a buzz, and then have to do it over and over again. So you got to stay consistent. Would you want to ride a bike up this hill more than 3 times? No. You're going to be like, man, I'm sweaty the last time. Man, this shit is hard work. I don't want to do all that over and over again. So what do you think a label want to do? And another thing is that, we sign up to be a part of the team. Bro, we want you. We want to see you work. We want to see your work ethic. So, and like he said, catalog is going to keep the longevity. It's going to create a lot of music for us to put out. It's like if you're a baseball player, you swing it 400 times, then guess what? You probably batting 100. So look at it think about it like that. If you swing it 400 times, you batting 100, right? So the odds is in your favor. Get the odds in your favor. Wake up every day, make 2 or 3 records. Sometimes you ain't even got that. I remember Babyface told me one time he make 1 record a day. He'll make 1 record, and if it just don't come to him, he'll come back and finish that record, and then he'll move on to the next record. But at the end of the day, he's building catalog over time, and just be consistent with whatever you signing up to do. There's catalog, then there's content, then there's merch. Then, somebody let me open locally. Let me sell some tickets. Let me do all of these things to keep building for me. It's my business. It's your business. This is your dream. And we're just trying to be a partner in your dream. And we believe, too, so we'll help you. But it starts with you. And then you can blame your manager after. Because if you can't do that, you can't expect your manager to do it either.
Clap your hands for Shawn, my man Earl, one time. Can you guys just give out your social media real quick? Social media?
I'm at Shawn Barron, ShawnBarron, on Instagram.
One more time.
ShawnBarron.
And I'm EB Johnson 1. So EB Johnson 1.
All right. So listen up real quick, y'all. I'm going to switch up the things a little bit. There's too many people to actually get everybody inside to announce the top finalists. So we're going out right into the pavilion, right out front. All right? So everybody make your way outside. We're going to announce the top finalists and come back for Zaytoven. All right? See you out front.
I don't know